So Keemstar, I think, is a glutton for punishment. He posted a video about pronouns. Let's watch it. Let's see what he has to say. Let's see what Keemstar and his infinite wisdom has to say about pronouns.
Okay,
I'm assuming that he's saying this something to do with like the Dave Chappelle shit going on, where Dave Chappelle's under some fire, and so everybody's been talking about like trans stuff because Dave Chappelle had some transphobic content and whatnot. All right, let's get this.
let's say hypothetically speaking, there's a biological male who feels like they're a woman, all right? And they want to be referred to as her or she. And I don't know, they got makeup on, or they're wearing a dress, or they're wearing a wig, or they have some type of female characteristic that they're telling the world, not verbally, but visually, I am a woman. I feel like you should call that person her or she. You want them to feel comfortable, right? You don't want to offend them, all right? But if there was a biological woman, all right, that looked like a woman, that had a nice little dress on and had her hair all did up, had makeup on, had earrings, had jewelry, and she wanted to be referred as man, he, him, bitch, you're an asshole. Like, everyone looking at you is going to be like, that's a female. And no, you refer to me as he, refer to me as him. You're being an asshole. All right, you're being a fucking troll. Then we get to they and them. You're the ultimate trolls, all right? You are literally asking for it. That's where I'm coming from with all this.
Okay. I mean, I guess it's fine. All right. So I mean, What do you want me to say? Okay. I mean, like, I'm gonna sit here and break down a fucking Keemstar video. Like, what a loser I am. All right. So what he's kind of referring to here is what I call the transgender triangle. Right? It's a triangle, right? It's really not really a triangle. Well, it is kind of, right? So you have we're gonna say this is your gender expression. Well, actually, you know what? That's gender expression, right? I don't know why I felt like changing that. Then you have your gender identity. Then you have your pronouns. And then there's also, we'll make it a little Christmas tree. This is your biology. Right? So they're your biological sex. So this is something you can't change, right? So what does this mean, right? You know your biology is you're born male or female. I know that there's intersex, but just generally speaking, male or female. Then your gender identity is what you identify as, right? So this is what you identify as. Your gender expression is the way that you express yourself to society, and then your pronouns are what you prefer to be called. So if you look at me, Papa Gut, so I'm a cool guy. Obviously, I'm a biological male. I identify as a male. I express myself to society as a male, and my pronouns are he, him pronouns, right? To this first point, what he was saying is, hey, listen, let's say you have somebody who's a biological woman, and they identify as a woman, right? They're a biological man. He said, like, they're a biological man, but they identify as a woman. And they're expressing themselves to society as a woman the best that they can, right? Because, not all trans people are going to be passable, and that's okay. I don't think that invalidates you. And they ask to be called, like, female pronouns. He's totally affirming of that. However, what he is saying, though, is that somebody who is biologically, it doesn't matter, in his instance, a woman, they're identifying as a man. Oh, that's a M and a W. Still, whatever. But they're expressing themselves as a woman, and they want to be called male pronouns. That's what he's coming up with, like, a frustration issue over. And to be absolutely honest with you, I can understand that. Now, the reason is because from my perspective, it seems rather bizarre for you to identify as trans, a trans man, but make no effort to express yourself as a man. Because then to me it's like, well, what is your issue? If it's solely the identification, or is it just the pronouns? Now, to be honest with you, if somebody was fully like looked and expressed themselves as a woman, but they wanted to be called he, him, I would just do that because I don't care. I would probably think that person's weird, And I'd be like, okay, but I wouldn't like care. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, and like die on a stake because I don't really give a shit. When it comes to non-binary people, I think a lot of non-binary people generally will express themselves in a way that's almost like gender neutral in some capacity. At the end of the day, I don't think you have to be super educated on all this shit. Just be respectful. Call them by their whatever pronouns they prefer. And if you think it's too weird, just ask them what their name is. It's all about respect. I get what he's expressing. Obviously, it's in a dumb way, but Keemstar is, not particularly intelligent. Calling people trolls is kind of dumb. There are people who are trans trenders who are just being trans because it's like the trendy thing to do. But in your quest to invalidate transgenders, you are going to end up invalidating real trans people. So your best bet is to just be respectful and, give them whatever fucking pronoun anybody wants to be, expressed as or whatever. Except for Trisha Paytas, fuck her. Woo! How do you like that? It's one of those things, though, like, he started out, and I thought he was just gonna be like, hey, if I meet a trans woman or man that's really trying to express themselves as the gender they identify with, I'm totally affirming, but I don't really understand people who, fall in, like, outside of that binary. That's a real question that a lot of older people struggle with, and I guess you could probably say me too. But, of course, it just got brain dead at the end there. It wasn't like an educational conversation. It was just like a weird... I mean, like, I think that Keemstars always programmed himself to just, like, be some kind of a troll. Like, oh, what the fuck is this? And he plays this game where he's, like, half affirming. So he's like, oh, I validate these trans people, but not these trans people, as a way to, like, get, like, a bunch of kids to get, like, all riled up and be like, yeah, fuck you. This person says clothes don't have a gender, Keem. Well, that's not true. Everything is gendered. Like, I don't, like, whether you like it or not, everything is gendered. Like, it's just factually incorrect. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's a social construct, but a trans male having long hair and a dress isn't the end of the world. Okay, well, it does raise some questions. Like, what does it mean to be trans to you? Or what is your dysphoria, or what's your uncomfortableness mean to you? If you're expressing yourself as, like, a woman, and, like, you look like a woman, well, you express yourself as a woman, you just identify as a male and want to use male pronouns, but you express yourself as a woman. It is a question. It's like, well, what does it mean to that individual? But I think those are generally outliers, and I don't think that it matters too much. Just be respectful. Obviously, these types of questions are always going to rile up people to be like, what the fuck? Rah! Crazy. You used to use they them pronouns for a single person throughout this entire video. Guess it isn't hard. Yeah. Whatever.